Welcoming on stage Miss Kavita Nair, Chief Digital Transformation and Brand Officer, Vodafone Idea.
Uh, Good afternoon, good evening to all of you. I'll just need to adjust myself to the light. Uh, I'm so glad that everyone seems to be talking about the screen age, the mobile phone screen, because that's something that we have lived in. I personally have worked only in this industry, so it is always delightful to see all categories really talking about screens. What I'm going to talk about today is how brand value models are changing in this mobile era. And I'm going to tell stories because for me, storytelling is a way to really help get my point across. I think that's how we've really built our brands, both of them, Vodafone and Idea, and I'm going to really continue with that. And I wear two hats. I think she mentioned I look after digital transformation and I look after brand, which are like two different really, sometimes people say that why am I doing these two really jobs? How do they really join together? They join together because the way the consumers are really looking at things and customers are looking at things has really changed, isn't it? And what has digital done? Because customers are really changing, it is getting all of us to really rethink business models. And I think that is one of the core things, if I look inside out and not outside in, business models, operating models, brand value models, all are getting disrupted. And that's what digital has really done for all of us, and of course has transformed the lives of the customer. And if I just think of what are the big consumer shifts in this digital era, I think aspirations have flattened across socio-economic classes, across urban, rural, all of it means they've just really flattened. Everyone really believes that they can chase their dream. Gully Boy is a great example of it. It is a great example of the society that we are living in, of that whoever it is really believes that I can accomplish whatever because of the power that they have of the mobile phone and the internet. I think the second thing for me that has really changed is women and youngsters have become active influencers. So typically brands would really look at male TG, this, you can't really exclude women and youngsters out in that at all. They have become active influencers. So they used to be passive influencers, they've become really, really active influencers. I think the third one is, we all grew up, at least in my generation, to look at activists. Used to call this that ye log activists hain, ye log activism kar rahe hain, which is, and it used to be like really small group of people who are trying to really do narabazi too for some cause or the other. I think activism has become fairly scaled and it is no more activism. All of us have really strong beliefs about things that we believe in, have causes that we believe in, and we really rally around them. We really get things on a scale. So if climate change is something that everyone is talking about, it wouldn't have happened 10 years ago in this manner. Whoever would be talking about climate change would be a small group of bunch of people who everybody would have said ki ye kaun scientist hai jo or sustainability, which is a big topic. Again, it would be, why does somebody need supari plates? Why can't I, means, and stuff like that, which has now become really big. So it's no more activism. And I think the fourth is how really consumers consume stuff. It is no more linear. It is no more predictable. And I think one-way world is a little bit of a passé because people really like to interact and engage. Now, if those are the big shifts, think of the first wave of when value was being created for the brands. And Dove is just an example, means I think it's a wonderful brand and it has really adapted to this new age world. But it was about value was owned by the brand. And there was a one-way communication of what we communicate to the consumer. And then I think in the second wave, it became a little little co-created world. And I think if I can use Lego as an example of how it moved from mass to a little bit of an interactive medium, and I think I have a video to show this. How will this video work? This, no, not this one. Sorry. I need to go back. Yeah, there is that Lego ideas. How do I play that video? Okay.
Have you ever had an idea for a new Lego set? On Lego Ideas, you can check out proposals for new Lego sets created by fans just like you. Find your favorite projects, vote, give feedback, and even submit your own. If a project gets 10,000 votes, it enters the Lego review phase. Then, our review board evaluates and selects which project will become the next Lego Ideas product. Members whose projects are selected are recognized for inspiring a Lego Ideas set and even receive a percentage of the product's sales. Once the design process is complete, the next Lego Ideas product is produced in our factory and shipped to stores. Finally, the Lego Ideas product is available to buy. And you made it happen on Lego Ideas. So what are you waiting for? Check out cool projects on the Discover page, or learn how to submit your own by clicking How It Works. The next set we approve might even be yours.
Yep, so do you remember make your own? I think in our life we used to say make your own plan. This is about how a Lego set was made. I think it was really cool and it's still cool. But today, this is a connected ecosystem. This world of one-way or doing interaction is all there. It exists, but it is limited because that's not how consumers really see and shape brands. That's not why they really love brands, and that's not why they really believe in brands at all. So one of the cases that really, really excites me is the Nike case. How many of you have seen the Nike Colin Kaepernick case? Has anyone? Yeah, one of you have seen. Yeah, so fantastic. If the rest have not seen, at least it's a new story for them. So I think this is a case where voices which were beyond the intended audience are the ones which really change the brand's value. And I'm going to talk about the brand's value in a bit. But it is a fantastic case of a really massive brand taking a massive risk, which is very, very difficult, especially if you have a quarter, and every quarter you have a results to be shown where the share prices can go up and down. So if you can play the video, please, and then we'll talk a little bit about it.
Several people posting videos burning Nike shoes.
Nike is running straight into a political controversy.
People are so angry they're burning their own shoes.
Colin Kaepernick refused to stand during the national anthem, taking a knee to protest police brutality.
Nike revealed Colin Kaepernick as the face of its latest marketing campaign.
Believe in something, even if it means sacrificing everything.
Is Nike taking a risk?
I think they're taking a stand.
Tonight, the first game of the new season, and Nike is running an ad featuring Colin Kaepernick.
If people say your dreams are crazy, good. Stay that way.
Most of this country was talking about this last night at their dinner table.
And I'm never buying another Nike product again.
Nike stock today dropping 3%.
Who's going to win this cultural showdown of standing for the anthem?
Check this out. I went out today and bought me some Nikes.
I want to applaud Nike. Speak up. We're right behind you.
This thing is bigger than just the United States, and I think it resonates throughout the world.
Kaepernick asegura que es
Just do it.
Nike stock reached an all-time high last Friday.
I'm going to buy more Nikes now. Nike's on the right side of history.
So don't ask if your dreams are crazy. Ask if they're crazy enough.
Yep, so fantastic ad, $6 billion in value. Right. It's not an ad at all, actually. So the story behind this is that this guy in an NFL game did not stand up for the national anthem in an NFL game. Colin Kaepernick, and why did he not do that? Because he believed he was protesting against police brutality. Now, naturally, not standing up for the national anthem is a national outrage, which also got Trump to talk about it, right? Nike had signed up Colin Kaepernick and used Colin Kaepernick's ad in their NFL season. Now, typical boardroom conversations would be, this guy has done something which is really terrible right now, or which is something which is alienating a lot of people. Let's not release this ad, let's put it in the cans, and let's not do anything about it, right? That's what the normal reaction would be. Nike, brave enough, went and put out this ad. Naturally, the stocks fell a little bit. There was outrage. There were people burning Nike shoes. But what then really happened is, many people who believed in the cause for which Colin stood up and did not stand up for the national anthem started supporting not only Colin, but also Nike. So suddenly, this was not meant for 18 to 29 male TG. It were people who were not in that TG who started supporting this whole world. And Nike really gained in that. Because what would have happened, so when they would be putting this ad out, they would have thought there'll be one or part of the audience which will like it. There'll be one which will hate it, that we are putting Colin, and one which is okay, so doesn't really care, right? I think they said that the which will love it is my 18 to 29 TG. These are the people who really believe in this cause, and we are going to really utilize that. Yeah? They were okay with alienating the other audiences, and the other audiences actually then came to support them, which meant 5% stock price increase, $6 billion in value. And look at it, it is not about an advertising poster or anything. It was about something that really happened in an NFL game by a sports star who sacrificed his own career because he believed in something, which got taken up by the brand Nike to really make their brand become more cult than what it is. And I think that's the world that we're really living in. And if that's the world that we're living in, I think this really calls for a shift in our focus as marketers from fixed digital journeys to really connected ecosystems. Look at the connected ecosystem, right? Even the president is bothered to comment on it. He, of course, comments on everything. So how do we really leverage these connected ecosystems is about the collective experiences, culture and beliefs, which really shape the value of a brand. And if this is what the new world is, I thought that I'll just do a few more stories, a couple of them from Vodafone, not all, a couple of them, to really say that how are various different companies using some of this, which are just inspiration for all of us as marketeers, media people, etc., to really use this for building our own brands. So Vodafone UK has a project called Dream Lab. Again, there's a video. It's always useful to see a video. It gives you the story much better than me, boring me. And how they really use the smartphone ecosystem to accelerate cancer research. Yeah. If you can play the video, and then we'll talk about it a little bit.
Cancer affects the lives of so many people in the UK. But what if we told you you could join the fight against cancer while you sleep? Medical researchers need access to supercomputers to crunch their complex data. That's where you and the DreamLab app come in. DreamLab harnesses your smartphone's processing power to create a secure virtual supercomputer made of thousands of smartphones to speed up vital cancer research. Simply download the app, and when you charge your smartphone, the app will start crunching the data while you sleep. DreamLab works over Wi-Fi or mobile data, and for Vodafone customers it won't eat into your data allowance. It's an easy way to make a real difference. And the more people who use the app, the faster it works. So, download the app today. Charge, sleep, fight cancer. Sleep like a hero tonight.
So can you imagine when we are sleeping, this app is collecting just data, not data that you are using, but data which is to make a virtual supercomputer, which is then firing up and accelerating cancer research. How cool is that? How amazingly cool it is when you're not using your phone, data from across smartphones is being used to really fire cancer research. Now, of course, it is connecting for good, which is what you really do to give back to the society, but how do you really harness this technology? How do you really create mobile experiences for people to value their brands or what they use even more? And I think is one of my favorite. I think this is an Instagram generation that we are living in. Everybody really posts their, whether it's food, clothes, etc., and you don't really want to be seen in the same outfits twice, which also has a challenge with sustainability. Do we really need so many clothes? Do we really need so many things? And look at what this brand called Carlings. How many of you have heard of Carlings? Yeah, it's a Scandinavian brand. Amazing story. It's quite an amazing story. I'm not going to steal the power of the story from the video, but we'll talk about it as to what this story is, and we may do a little bit of an interaction after that also. Play the video. Thank you.
Our generation lives in a paradox. On one hand, we love to express our style and creativity online. On the other, we want to reduce all the production waste that has a negative impact on the environment. A paradox caused by the unwritten rule that we can't be seen online in the same outfit twice. So how do we secure a better future while maintaining our creative output online? With a digital clothing collection, a series of virtually fitted fashion items that you only wear in digital space. This is how it works. First, you take a picture, you choose a product from the web shop, before a 3D tailor adjusts the product to your image. Now, your outfit is ready to be shared on social media. This is a new way of expressing our fashion creativity without leaving a negative footprint on the world. The solution did not only challenge today's e-commerce conventions and brand experiences, it challenged an entire industry's ideas and innovations towards more sustainable solutions. And once the webshop was open, the newest fashion phenomena traveled across the globe.
Dels er det miljømæssige aspekt i, at I faktisk ikke producerer tøj.
Hashtag address the future. They are one of the few brands that have a creative approach to this problem.
Yes, so this is roti kapda, makan kapda. We never thought that can be disrupted, but potential disruption, isn't it? How cool is it? Digital clothing. Digital clothing that you don't really, there is no physicality to that clothing, and people are spending money, $30, $26, to really buy this, to really share them on Instagram, and no negative footprint. What an amazing thing. An amazing brand to have thought that that is what consumers are doing, and how do we really change the way we look at clothing. Yeah, we all talk Uber and Airbnb all the time, but how do you? Yeah, and then of course I wanted to give a. So this is all the mobile screen generation, which is the smartphone generation, and I said, is it only the screen is only for the smartphone people, or is it also the feature phone guys who think of their lives with the phones? And here I'm going to show you what the basic insight on Vodafone Sakhi was of how do you really get women to feel safe, to making women feel safe. Yeah, play the video please, and then we will talk a little bit about that. I think I am on time. Yeah. Okay.
Want to know how a man can buy a woman's phone number in UP? All he has to do is walk to his local recharge shop.
मुझे 100 रुपए दीजिए, मैं आपको अभी 4 नंबर दिलवाता हूँ लड़कियों को।
50 को फोन करते हैं, एक तो कम से कम पढ़ती है।
93% of India's 1 billion mobile subscribers use calling cards. Because of low internet penetration, they share their numbers with neighborhood retailers for every top-up. Although a practical solution, it created a new, ugly face of exploitation. In 2017, a probe sent shockwaves across the nation. In Uttar Pradesh, several retailers were caught selling mobile numbers of women customers for less than $1. Sexual predators were now haunting women in the privacy of their homes through their mobile phones.
उसका फोन लगातार आता रहता था, कभी दिन, कभी रात, कभी 2 बजे, 3 बजे।
बहुत सारी तस्वीरें और वीडियोस भेजी जाती थी। मतलब मैं आपको बता नहीं सकती, इतनी ज़्यादा चीप होती थी कि कोई भी लेडी उसको देख नहीं सकती। फ़ोन से डर लगने लगा था, ऐसा लगा था कि फ़ोन को फेंक दो। अपने घर में जो इंसान सेफ नहीं है, वो कहीं सेफ नहीं है।
Vodafone India decided to counter this social malaise using technology. Introducing Vodafone Sakhi, an industry-first innovation that is a simple text-based private top-up for women. By texting private to 12604, a machine-generated 10-digit number is received which women could share with the retailer instead of their mobile numbers. We intentionally stayed away from mass media and instead chose women-only touchpoints. Trusted social workers were trained to spread awareness about Sakhi at primary health centers. Wrapping papers at beauty shops also proved to be an effective touchpoint. Today, 400,000 subscribers avail the service from UP alone. With this pioneering product, Vodafone India has given a new ray of hope to 35 million women subscribers in their quest for privacy. Vodafone Sakhi, like a true friend, continues to empower women to be fearless in their pursuit of progress.
Yep, so very, very simple insight. And this is where the collective that I was talking about comes into play, because this is not a product manager sitting in the Bombay office thinking of this insight. This insight exists everywhere. And it came from a salesperson in UP who thought that we can do something like private recharge. Yeah, so simple. This really then won awards at the Vodafone Global Heroes to say that who are these people who really create these very insightful customer-led products. And then of course, because it was done in UP and piloted there, we really took it to the country and the nation, and I think that it was televised, and we have about 10 million of those women who subscribe to this. But more importantly, it really built a bond with the brand for consumers who really said that this is a problem, and with a simple solution, this has been fixed. And then of course, for all marketers, this got a load of awards. I think the FE is the client of the year, all in that APAC world. So it is not just about cool insight, cool products, but effective stuff which really builds business and builds brands, which is why I thought that this was a really interesting case study, not a smartphone case study, but a feature phone, very insightful stuff. And then just, I think one more before we throw the questions through. I think my whole world of interactivity, which is the collectivism of beliefs, what does it mean, who are the kids, and in this it is about the kids. And how does wallpapers that are there always in kids' room can tell stories? I am a mother of a 3.5-year-old, and when I see this, I really get excited because I have to tell many stories. And this is such a fun way of engaging with audiences as little as really tiny kids. One more video, please, and then thank you.
Castorama, the popular French DIY store, presents Magic Wallpaper, the first wallpaper that tells stories. On the wall, dozens of characters. Each character is actually a digital marker. You scan it via a dedicated app, and the story begins. But wait, that's not all. By scanning 2 characters, you can combine them. That's how you get hundreds of stories. Every type of combination becomes possible. Discover the adventure of the rainbow robot and the princess who didn't like dresses, or the jogging rhinoceros and the marine cat. Adventures to be read or listened to. Magic Wallpaper. Hundreds of stories to share as a family before going to sleep.
Isn't that wonderful? And it's wonderful because, typically parents are only telling their children not to be on screen. And I thought that this is such a great way where you're interacting with things. You're not really seeing moving images. You're interacting with your parent. You're building stories. There's a physicality of it to getting it on that tablet or Kindle or whatever it is. And you don't really need crazy advertising for this. You just really need people to experience it and then really talk about it like I'm talking to all of you about it. So I think this whole world has really changed on how we really look at consumers, consumer centricity by virtue of this whole collective world and not a one-way communication. So I think for me, brands really need to start with people. Maybe the methods have to be retuned to then really say, and I think Kate Leggett said from Forrester that in the age of the customer, executives don't decide how customer-centric their companies are, customers do. Yeah? And this is more true today because your customers is an integral part of what you are and how you're doing and not a little far removed part because they are really experiencing you here and now. And the old world of this TG, that the stereotypes of personas, etc., has really disappeared because the personas sometimes feel similar. I always say that our higher end, high-value customers behave in the same way a European high-value customer does, in the same way. Because what is it doing? Democratization of technology is really breaking those barriers. So I think it's a fantastic, exciting phase for all of us. It's exciting phase for all of us to retune and relearn and really break some business models and break some leg. Yep, thank you very much. Any questions? I'm happy to answer. Any questions? No? Okay, excellent. Thank you.